Hello, everybody. This is Mark Michelot from Building Aspirations, and I welcome you to a live webinar. And we are going to be talking about social media 101 for authors, specifically how authors can tap into the craziness that is social media to help promote their expertise, to help sell books, to help sell conferences, to help sell book signings, and to fulfill the obligations of their contracts that they might have with publishers and book promoters. This webinar is sponsored in cooperation with Constant Contact. I am Mark Michelot, and I am your host today for this live event, coming to you from sunny Southern California, from Long Beach, California, actually. We're a little bit south of Los Angeles, a little bit north of San Diego. And I am a strategic partner with Constant Contact. I've been using Constant Contact for a number of years. And if you're not familiar with them, they are a provider of email marketing and social media marketing solutions for small business. And I've been helping my clients with their email marketing solutions on Constant Contact for a number of years. I love their product suite. They have great customer service. And they have events like this that allow their experts, their strategic partners, to share some expertise with the world. And today, we're helping you, as the author, specifically figure out how to tap into social media. My company is called Building Aspirations because that's what we do. We are in the business of building your aspiration, taking who you are and what you want to be in the world and sharing that with good marketing strategy. And that fits really well with the idea of being an author. Because when you are an author, that book is your baby. I mean, whether you've published one book or 10 books or just thinking about publishing a book, you just pour your heart and soul into this book, whether it's a fiction book, whether it's an anthology, whether it's a nonfiction book, whether it's full service published, whether it's self-published, you invest blood, sweat, and tears on these pages. And I want you to get the most value from that experience. And that's what we do with all of our clients in Building Aspirations, and we've been doing it for about 15 years plus. That we take who you are as an individual and we share it with the world, your authentic self, your genuine self. Because we want you to make money because of your book. Now, because of your book, not from your book. It's a different idea. I mean, this is not semantics. This is a really significant, really powerful idea. I've written and published 2 books, 50 Tips for Effective Networking and Achieving What You Want for Yourself and Your Life, Aspirations. The 50 Tips for Effective Networking book is a very straightforward tips book specifically for college students. I taught college classes for a number of years. I still teach college classes now. When I was teaching undergraduate students, I now teach in a corporate education program, but when I was teaching undergraduate students, they would ask me about the power of networking. Or more specifically, they would ask me how to get a job, how to get a promotion. Well, I always believed in the power of networking, the human connection, one person to one person, being real, eyeball to eyeball, handshake to handshake. And they kind of sort of understood the concept, but not really. Like, well, okay, yeah, I get it, talking to people, but how do you do it? So I literally wrote a book for them that told them how to do it. And I also wrote another book, an inspirational and motivational book that helps people break down their big goals, aspirations. And that's the foundation for everything we do, is the aspirations message, tapping into your authentic self and sharing that with the world in a specific success methodology. Now, I sell these books, and I'm successful selling these books but I make more money because of the book. I think the Aspirations book sells for $14.95. The networking book sells for $9.95. Now, the networking book I might sell by the caseload because a college might buy these for their incoming freshman students, freshman orientation. So they might buy hundreds of books. But because of the book. Now, I might sell a networking class or a motivational program at a college career development event. So I'm paid to speak the same message to 500, 1,000 students in an auditorium. And I'll get a keynote speaking fee from that because of the book. You see, the book, $10. Speaking fee, 4 figures, 5 figures. And then the Aspirations book, same idea. My Aspirations seminar might be 3 to 6 hours, and then there's the book, and then there's specific coaching, and now you can have e-courses and DVDs. I mean, whatever your aspiration is, as long as you connect it to the idea of the book and utilize this core concept of because of the book, you can be very, I don't want to say wealthy because then you're just looking at the money. You can be very successful. And I'll let you determine, I'll let you evaluate what your measure of success is, whether it's literally earning money or whether it's just helping people in the community. I mean, that's up for you. And this is an example of one of my success stories. One of my coaching clients, my book coaching clients, she literally went from $27 workshops to $6,000 photo safaris. She is a professional wildlife photographer. Her name is Kathleen Reeder. You can check her out online. She wanted to publish a book called Capturing the Moment, The Art and Science of Photographing Wild Animals. She is a wildlife photographer, and she wanted to share this love of animals with the world. It's her authentic self. It was her aspiration to do this. Great. I explained this concept to her. I mean, the book is wonderful. It's extraordinary. And it has limited revenue potential. Bam. We went forward with that. She understood it was the platform. And then from this book, she could do $100 workshops, and then $500 workshops, and then coaching events. And now, fast forward a few years later, she just keeps building the idea, and now she's literally taking groups of people from the United States to 3 different countries in Africa. She has 3 different relationships with local governments in, I'm going to say, Zaire, Kenya, I can't remember, Botswana? But in any event, she takes people into the wilderness, into the African wilderness, to take pictures of these wild animals. And she is living her aspiration. She is just like, oh my gosh, she's just so happy. And not only is she so happy, but she's earning money and she's making the world a slightly better place while she's doing it. And I love being able to help her do this. And this is what we're going to talk about today. You know, we're going to do all of this in the limited amount of time that we have today. So sit tight and take some good notes. And there's no Q&A. The entire thing is Q&A. I'm monitoring it, and there's a little chat box if you want to add your comments. And just so you know, you will have, if you're participating in the live webinar today, you will get a follow-up from me at 10:10 a.m. We always send them 10:10 a.m. the next business day. Tomorrow is a business day. You'll get a thank you message from me, and in there will be a link to the video recording of this webinar. So that's our bonus to you for participating live. We already got a shout out. Woo! Yeah, thank you, Tracy. Tracy, let me know where you're from today, and let me know the topic of your book. And you know what, the rest of you, shout out about your books. What are you writing about? Now, social media, if you're stressed, if you're anxious about social media, welcome to the world. We're all stressed and confused by it. And I literally do consulting in it, and it's still, oh my gosh, it changes all the time. And wait 10 minutes, and by the end of this webinar, it's going to change again. But you know what? You can't get stressed about it. Realize that you're not alone. Constant Contact has been doing this for a number of years, and it knows from its surveys with its clients that 54% of small businesses need help with social media, and it's similar for nonprofits. So we don't have specific numbers for authors, but there it is right there, right? Because you really are a small business. And some of you have fears, and here are some of the fears that people typically have about social media. I'll never have millions of fans. Well, one of the principles we talk about is quantity over quality. Quantity over quality. So it's more important, I beg your pardon, quality over quantity, quality over quantity. So it's better that you have just a few people who know and love you and respect you rather than just a whole lot of random people. Because I want you to make an emotional connection with these people. So if it's just a handful of people, but they know and love you and they're truly sincere fans of the message of your book, because that's what we're really selling. We're selling the message of your book, not the book. It's the message. And that can be sold as a DVD, a workshop, a course, a coaching, consulting, whatever. Now, some of you are going to say, I don't know what to say on social media. Well, you literally know what to say because you've already said it. You've said it in your book. I mean, whatever your message was, however you explained it, the stories that you shared, the problems that you resolved, the examples that you put out there, that's your content. It's there already. You have it. Just share what you've already shared. And it could literally be cut and paste. And whatever you've said in the book, I mean, there's another way you can say it. There's another example that you can use. So you will always have good information to share on social media. I'll never have a dedicated staff to do it right. Well, you can be very effective if you execute proper strategy. I don't want you to confuse being busy with being productive. We're going to be productive, which means that you're going to use your time extraordinarily wisely. And some of you are going to say, I don't have the time to stay current. Well, you need to share what's relevant. That doesn't mean that if, let's say, you're talking about current events in the world, that you analyze every newspaper and every magazine and every newscast. You just have to know at a high level what's happening and share it at a high level, right? Your book is probably not 10,000 pages because no one's going to read a 10,000 page book. So you had to summarize, you had to be concise, you couldn't be verbose, you had to share your stories in a meaningful way with a limited number of words. That's how you can be efficient and effective and save time in doing these things. And right now, you all have what you need to get started. You have your book and you have some fans. And don't worry, even if you don't have a lot of fans, if you have some, it works. That's enough to get started. All you need to do is have enough to get started. And even if it's just 2 or 3, okay, I mean, how many tens of thousands of people are there who want to be authors and have no fans? If you are an author and have any fans, oh my gosh, you're already in the, 99th percentile, right? So now you can just get better. And here are the examples from Kathleen. Kathleen has literally written and published 2 books. One, a physical book, The Capturing the Moment, which is also available as an ebook, and then Wildlife Photography 10 Composition Tips, which is available as an ebook. Now, I'm going to use the term book again and again and again because we're specifically targeting authors. Now, the term 10 years ago, it meant physical book, you have it. Now, it means you're just reading it. And for some time, we were kind of gray. Are ebooks going to take off? Are they credible? Now there's no question about it. They are 100% credible. And Amazon.com, I think, sells 40% more ebooks than physical books. Now, which type makes sense for your business and what you want to do and say as an author, that's where maybe you'll connect with me a little bit, and in my coaching program I can help you with some specifics. And I'll give you an invitation a little bit later in the webinar about how you can work individually with me. So just realize that you have enough content, you have more than enough content, you have more than enough expertise to share with the world, and book, quote unquote, is physical book or ebook. And Tracy is writing an empowerment book for women. Oh, it looks like young women. Okay, she's helping young girls with confidence. Okay. Okay, she talks a little bit about fighting bulimia and anorexia, and okay, so I'm gonna kind of, re-engineer Tracy's words here. So I'm gonna say kind of like a teen girl self-confidence, body image controlling type of book. Wonderful, great, thank you for doing that. I mean, that's something that truly is going to make the world a better place. And we have Miguel also mentioned, oh, he's sharing the story of his parents, who immigrants and then created a tortilla company. Okay, wonderful. I love that. So not only is that an example of overcoming adversity, but not only overcoming, but success, building your own company. I love it. I love it. So we're going to talk about why you want to use social media. We're going to talk about the 5 top social media networks, what to say, and then how to get started. Now, here are the top ones right now. Now, there's other ones going out there. Snapchat's really popular right now, but here are the main ones. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. Now, these are all channels. They're all social media networks. They're all uniquely different. They all have their own personality. And we're talking about marketing, but I want you to really appreciate that this is a conversation. All of these are going to be related to connecting with these people, and the manner in which you speak to people is going to be different depending upon the situation. Excuse me. You're going to talk to your neighbors differently than you would your coworkers, differently than you might your church pastor, differently than you might your dog or your children. Same thing for these social media networks. Your manner of communication is different across all of these. Okay, very high level, very general, and then we'll get into some details here. Facebook is a conversation in a bar. It's casual, it's kind of free-flowing, it's kind of fun, can kind of go in every direction. Okay, that's typically why people are on Facebook. They're having just a general need for conversation and communication with people. Now, LinkedIn is a different type of conversation. It's a little bit more formal. You can't really joke around on Facebook because that's a conversation in a bar like you would on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, it's a conversation in a boardroom. So it's more it's more formal. You're going to be speaking at a higher level. You're going to use proper grammar. You're going to be very topic specific about how you share your information. Now, Twitter is a totally different conversation in itself. Twitter is a conversation in a hallway. It's a conversation in a hallway because it's super fast. You actually have a technical limitation of 140 characters, basically a sentence. Pinterest is a conversation between women. Pinterest itself is a photo sharing site that right now by membership and activity is 70% women. So it's really dominated by women. So if you're speaking to women or speaking about topics in your book that are appropriate to the female gender, then Pinterest is a great opportunity for you. Now, Instagram is similar to Pinterest in that it's a photo sharing site, but it has a different audience. This right here, right now, they're evenly distributed by age, but by activity, it's very skewed, very young. pretty much 30 and younger. So right now that's the millennials. Younger people are participating on Instagram, and it's designed to be a very instant communication. So Instagram, you typically take the picture and then share it on a mobile device immediately. So that's kind of an immediate, very visual conversation that's probably to a little bit of a younger crowd. So what you need to figure out is who are the readers of your book, who are the fans of what you are sharing in your book, and how do they exist on these social platforms? Because, you know, if you are communicating to a very old audience, okay, Instagram, probably not the best place. Okay, if you're communicating to predominantly men, can you be on Instagram? Yeah, or I beg your pardon, Pinterest. Can you be on Pinterest? Yes, you could, but that's probably not the best choice for you, right? See, and let's say you were communicating to female executives. Oh my goodness, yeah, I would say LinkedIn. LinkedIn would be an executive type conversation, you see? And if your book had more general audience, then that would be Facebook. So it really depends on the specific message and the target audience. Now, right now, Facebook is the largest social sharing site. It's growing very quickly. It's a very, very dominant part of life in the United States. People are on Facebook all day long, and it's not unusual for people to log in at work and then log into whatever software they use at work and then open their Facebook page so that they can communicate with people all day long. And not only that, it's available on mobile devices right now. So if your audience, if your fans of your book are there, right, you want to communicate with them, I don't know, maybe once or twice a day. Because you need to have a little bit of traffic, right? You can't show up in that bar like once every 3 months because you can't build relationships if you just show up extraordinarily infrequently. Okay, but you shouldn't go to the bar 20 times a day either, right? You should just go to the bar occasionally and make some friends and have some conversations with some people there. Now remember, LinkedIn is a more formal type of conversation. This is, remember, a conversation in a boardroom. Now, you're not going to have a board meeting all the time. You're not going to have a board meeting every day. So this is something where maybe once or twice a week. You see, once or twice a day on Facebook because it's a little more casual. Once or twice a week on LinkedIn because it's more formal. And here, because not only is the conversation more formal, the expectations of who you are more formal, you're really going to emphasize your expertise here. So if you are a parenting expert, how you communicate on Facebook is you can tell jokes and have cartoons about parenting, okay? But if you are on LinkedIn and talking about the parenting concepts of your book, you're going to give very specific tips. These are the tips for a troubled teen. Here are the tips for young children. Whatever your expertise is, it's going to be very specific, right? And you're going to be in the areas that present an opportunity for you to share your expertise. So if there are parenting groups, there are groups in LinkedIn. It's a subset of LinkedIn. That's where you're going to be. And you're going to be a thought leader or a thought guru, right? The center of attention. You're going to be initiating these conversations about whatever the core concepts of the book are, whatever your expertise is, and people will constantly and consistently see you as the thought leader. And now, who knows? They bring you in for conferences or training, or they have a book signing or whatever, because they see you in this position of expertise. Now, Twitter, whole different animal, because Twitter is very, very fast. As soon as you put out something on Twitter, boom, it goes away. So some of these messages obsolesce. Well, they all obsolesce at some point. Okay, the faster the media, the more quickly the information obsolesces, which means that if I post on Twitter today, and I do all the time, that message is not going to have value 2 months from now. It's going to have very minimal value even tomorrow because it's so fast. Now, what that means is you can post a lot more on Twitter. That's totally fine. If you want to post 5 times a day or more, that's great. Okay, it's designed to be lower quality conversations, high dispersion. And I say lower quality just simply because you can't express maybe everything that you want to in those 140 characters, that simple limitation that you have. The way you can deal with this challenge is that you can share higher value assets, meaning that when you share a link to a video or a visual in your tweet, that's what the message is on Twitter, is a tweet, that can convey more information. I mean, you might not be able to explain everything you want to explain in a sentence, but maybe you give a teaser and then you say, oh, click this video link to watch more information, okay? And then that's maybe you talking about a passage of the book or reading the book or at a book signing, whatever is appropriate for your audience. Or that could just simply be a visual. Maybe there's a graph from the book, or maybe the cover of the book, or maybe one of the testimonials from the back cover of the book, right? So if you already have visuals, if you already have assets from the creation of your book, let's use those assets. Let's reuse them. I mean, it created value for you once. That's fine. Let's reuse the value again. Now, Pinterest. Remember, Pinterest is a conversation specifically for women. Okay, are men there? Yeah, they are. And can you advertise to men? Of course. But it's primarily women, 70% right now. Now, also realize that this is being recorded in 2016, and stuff changes all the time. You know, is Pinterest even going to be around in 2 years? Probably. Is it still going to be all women? I don't know. You know, who knows? Stuff changes all the time. So I'm just giving you the best information we have at the moment. Now, again, this is a quicker media. People look at the visuals, and if they like something, they pin it. Here's what that means. So I have followers on boards. So you have a board. So let's say a parenting expert. You're a parenting expert, okay? So let's say here are your boards about parenting teenagers. Here are your boards about co-parenting. Here are your boards about, you know, fill in the blank. So whatever area of specific parenting expertise you have and you talk about, you have a board specifically for that. So maybe there's quotes, maybe there's inspirational information, maybe you have infographics, maybe you have pictures, right? However you convey the information, it needs to be conveyed visual. Can you have text? Yeah, but it's a visual media. So that's kind of what people are looking for in this quote-unquote conversation. Now, what's great about this is that these visuals obsolesce slowly. So if you have a good visual that relates to a popular topic, it can drive traffic to your website long after you post it, because people are still repinning it. So if you talk about, I don't know, disciplining your child in an effective way, and you have a great visual related to that, and people, oh my gosh, this is always a relevant topic, 5 years from now, people may still be pinning that. And what you can do is you can connect a URL or your website address to that visual to drive traffic to your website. And then they can buy the book or register for your book signing, or, you know, however you execute your business. So Pinterest visuals, if they're positioned properly, can drive traffic to your website long after they're posted. Twitter, bam, once the tweet is gone, it's pretty much gone. Pinterest, different story. Now, Instagram, remember, this is for the younger people. Okay, this is an instant visual conversation, typically for younger people. So if you have quick visuals that you want to share, great. This is a mobile media. So right now you can only use it on a mobile phone. And that's the whole point. It's instant, right? It's not like, oh, let's take these pictures and we'll post them next month. No, let's take these pictures of this leadership event. Okay, let's go back to Tracy's example of, let's say she's taking pictures of these teens at this girl confidence building event, and then she's sharing these pictures of these young women learning how to be more confident in their bodies in the moment, right? And then, oh my God, that creates buzz, and it demonstrates your expertise, and then people are talking about you on social media, and now you want to make sure that you get business from this, okay? Now, this is a challenge with Instagram. It typically does not drive a lot of traffic. There's only one place on the Instagram account where people can go and click and go to your website. And it doesn't have to be a website. It could be your blog or your Amazon author page or whatever makes sense for your business. But the point is that you need to be very strategic. There's only one place they can go. So you can't really promote, hey, go to my bookstore. Hey, go to this events page. Go to right in your Instagram posts, because there's really only one place they can click, right? And people could figure out how to get there, but that's somewhat theoretical, right? If you're trying to drive traffic, you need to send people to that link. For my clients, I kind of default to the blog, because the blog you update on a regular cycle. For more specifics about that, truly the answer for you, I'm going to invite you to work with me in a little bit, and then we can go a little deeper on that, the specifics for you. Now, what do I say? Now, I'm going to give you some tips for what to say, but the key thing, we're talking about social media, but all of this stuff is great, but remember, it changes. The fundamental for all of this stuff is email marketing. Every book signing you have, get the people's contact information. Every conference you have, get the contact information. If you have workshops, get the contact information. That's what Kathleen has done. Remember, the wildlife photographer, and she's done this in every workshop. So now she's built her fan base over time. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people at a time. But you know what? If this is 20 or 30 people every month, holy moly, I mean, that could be 500 people by the end of the year, and you're just doing it kind of naturally. Now, this can't just be like collect the business cards and hope something magically happens. You need to have a regular strategy of connecting with these people, and that's your email marketing newsletter, and you're going to send those out on a regular basis. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the Constant Contact link in the chat box right now. And if you haven't started with Constant Contact, I want you to get started with Constant Contact. You go to buildingaspirations.com/constant-contact. buildingaspirations.com/constant-contact. Now, what do you say? Let me give you a general equation on how to do this, okay? Because what do you say and how you say it kind of need to go together. You need to be very strategic about how to do this. Okay, and not everybody loves math, but this math equation is pretty straightforward. Okay, 50% of the time, you're just going to be fun. Roughly a third of the time, you're going to be helpful. And 20% of the time, you're going to promote. Promote your business. Okay, not even your book, your business. I mean, I want people to buy the book, but remember, I want you to make money because of your book. I don't want, I just don't want you to make money from your book. So if you want to promote your coaching, your courses, or your keynote speaking, whatever, push them to the proper website. Now notice these add up to 100%. So half the time, bam, totally about them, right? And you're just being cordial. You're actually building rapport with these people. You have to be likable, you have to be affable, and that helps people build rapport with you and trust over time. And then your credibility is going to come from that. Because right after they like you, that's when you share your helpful information. Solve their problems. Tips, suggestions, share your expertise. And then 20% of the time, sell your expertise. 50, 30, 20. So really, 80% of the time about them, 20% of the time about you. That's really a fair way to do this. Now let me give you an example here about social media. This right here is a post on Facebook. Now we need to be very, very strategic. This here is specifically a live event. Okay, so suppose you talk about the love of music or somehow promote music in your books, right? And you're going to have a live event at this jazz club. Okay, so you post this on Facebook, and people make comments and they share it. But you know what? There needs to be business from this, because when people like and share this, are they going to know what to do? Are they going to know how to register? Are they going to know that your book is going to be available for sale? Whenever you put this on social media, especially when you're promoting, you're in the 20%, you need to be very call to action specific. What do I want to have happen? If you want people to register for this event, you need to say register for the event. You need to say buy your tickets here. Click here to buy your tickets. You see? Because this is going really fast. And I may be viewing a whole bunch of things. And if it takes me 5 or 10 minutes to figure out how to register for your event, you lost a potential opportunity. You need to make it very, very easy for me to figure out what to do to support you. And this goes back to what I said before. Don't worry about the quantity, worry about the quality. Okay, so if let's just say you have 10 fans. You have 10 fans, but they really love you and they promote you to all of their friends. Right now, when we're recording this, the typical person on Facebook has 338 friends. So 10 shares times 338 is 3,380 people. So if these people promote you to their friends, wow. See, you didn't grow like 100%. You grew thousands of percentage points because these people truly know you and love you. They respect your expertise. If they're strangers, right, it doesn't matter. You see the point there? So it's really quality over quantity. Because the small stuff can really work for you. I mean, what if somebody is a journalist and wants to give you a book review? Or what if somebody is a blogger and wants to put you on their blog? Or what if somebody is a newscaster and wants to interview you on their local news show? Right? That's one person, but this small thing, this one person, this small connection could really have big results. Right? So that's how I want you to think of this from a strategic standpoint. Now, this is all great stuff, and I'm sharing some stuff with you. And let me pause for just a couple seconds here, not a couple minutes, to answer a few questions, because a few questions actually did come in here. And somebody has a question about ebook versus physical book. Well, this is an example of, and I'm going to introduce you to the appointment opportunity a little bit, Lisa, and you can click on the link that I'll share in the chat box in just a minute and schedule a complimentary phone consultation with me. Because it's tough for me to answer the specific about the quote-unquote type of book unless I have a better understanding of your overall strategy, what you're trying to do, and what your core market is. If I had a default right now, I'm going to say both. But everything kind of depends. I taught business classes well, I still teach business classes, but when I was teaching the undergraduate students, I would say, I think every time there's an essay question, the answer is always a trick. It's always a trick question, because the answer is always it depends. So it really is never yes or no. It really depends on the situation. So without more specifics, I would just default to both. And we have a quick question here. Does it make sense to have book signings? A few of my clients have had book signings. They're a little bit challenging to organize from an administrative standpoint, but some people think that they're kind of fun. And depending on what your overall strategy is, it may be an opportunity for you to collect some marketing material for your reel. So if you have a book signing and 100 people are there and they're all excited to get your autograph from your book, wow, that's going to influence somebody else down the line who sees that and needs to evaluate you as an author. But is it worth your time and energy? Are you going to make a lot of money? You're not going to make a lot of money. Is it worth your time and energy? I don't know. If you could schedule that book signing in a couple of phone calls, yeah. If it takes you 2 months to figure out the logistics or you have to fly in somewhere, I would probably say no. Unless, of course, it depends, it's connected with a conference. You know, that's really how it works for me. So I might have a book signing at a conference. I think I did a 1,000-person conference about 3 months ago, an entrepreneurial conference. So if I had a book signing there, okay, that's great. Now I just have the event planner promote the book signing to those people, and I just have to show up at the table. So now that's kind of easy peasy, right? If you have to figure it out yourself, that could be a little bit challenging and probably won't be worth it. All right, so getting started. If you've ever done any type of coaching with me or been to any of my workshops, you know that I am an extremely results-oriented person. I am very, very practical, and I tell you what you need to do. I mean, you need strategy, of course, but you know what? Sometimes you just need to know, like, golly, like, what button do I press? And the key thing is you need to get started on this, folks. And a lot of you have fear, and I'm right there with you. Fear is a real thing, and I'm not unempathetic. I'm not. I don't discount it. And fear can turn you to a stone statue. Like not even metaphorically. Like almost literally, it can make you immobile, where you freeze. You just cannot take action because you're scared. It's tough. I acknowledge that. The way you deal with this is that you administer the cure. And the cure for fear is action. You need to take action. And the best time to get started with something, is yesterday. The second best time is today. So if you're participating on the call, if you're listening to the recording, you're already the second choice, right? I wanted you to get started yesterday, but we can't go back in time. We just need to do the best we can. So you can get started with Constant Contact. The link is in your chat box for $20 a month. $20. I mean, 2 years for $500. Wow. How many books do you have to sell to get that back? You know, I mean, that could be half of a keynote speech. Maybe that could be a tenth of a keynote speech for some of you, right? So the money comes back to you exponentially if you execute proper strategy. But I know some of you still have questions, and we answered a whole bunch of little questions, and I appreciate those because that means that you're listening, you're paying attention, and I'm providing some value. But I want to answer customized questions more specifically to you and the strategy for making money because of your book, not from your book. And the way I can help you with that is with a 30-minute complimentary phone consultation with me. I'm Mark. My company is Building Aspirations. So what you do is you go to buildingaspirations.com/appointment. That's buildingaspirations.com/appointment. And that's a calendar, and you just pick a date that's available, that's mutually satisfactory to both of us. We'll get notifications. And then not my assistant, not my office manager, I will call you, and we will have a one-on-one conversation. And this is a $75 value. And sometimes people, I mean, they will try and they can't get me on the phone. And sometimes I might have an event with hundreds of people and they're physically there and they can't talk to me because there's like 20 people in line who want to talk to me. And that's great. I mean, I feel very blessed that I have this opportunity. Well, I'm sharing this opportunity with you with this call. So just go to buildingaspirations.com/appointment. That's buildingaspirations.com/appointment, like it says on the screen, click on there, schedule that phone consultation with me, and we'll discuss one-on-one. And there's a question, what if I'm not an author? If you're not an author yet, no worries, I can still help you. And I actually have my book coaching package. I can help you convert that manuscript, finish it up wherever you might be. And if you're just getting started, yeah, the book coaching package, I can help you with that as well. Absolutely. So I know your time is precious and you chose to spend a little bit of time with me today. So I appreciate that. Thank you, was it Miguel? Miguel for sharing your story. Thank you, Tracy, for sharing your story a little bit. Thank you all for being here today. I appreciate you. Remember, I'm going to be sending the official thank you message at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's going to come from Mark at buildingaspirations.com. Well, thank you so much. We're right at the stopping point. You know, I try to squeeze in as much as I can, but I also try to respect your time as best I can as well and end on time. Well, thank you everybody for being here. This has been Mark Michelot from Building Aspirations, and I will see you on the next webinar. Bye-bye.